So YouTube, it's your boy, pretty boy Antonio. I'm back again another video for you guys. So today, pretty much, I'm gonna talk something about relationship and stuff. And I've been getting tagged about a video like this a long time ago. Never talk about this too much, but here we are. So pretty much, I have been through relationships throughout my life where I got cheated, backstabbed, and pretty much so on. And I really think that I want to help people realize that when you get to a relationship and stuff, don't force yourself to be with that person if you're not comfortable with it. Because what I have realized is that not everybody gonna be the same as you. And pretty much, you could be the, best guy, best woman out on that person, and then next thing you know, you realize you're being used. So you always gotta focus on yourself on certain things. Like, why do this person be like this? I don't know, because when I think about this generation we in, is that, people minds, they go through changes throughout, they start having babies and stuff, and they just won't have kids, multiple kids, and still think it's cute to, get with that person and then have another baby with them, then you go to child support and stuff. So stop making excuses on yourself from being hurt. Stop feeling like you're being used. If you're uncomfortable about a situation, you can always leave. Don't try to deal with that stuff. I know people go back to their ex to actually, because I understand. Trust and believe me, I do understand. Because you don't feel like starting over. You don't feel like starting over of talking to a new person and then on someone, then you break up in 2 months. I get it. Trust me with me. You won't get at the ass. But if their minds ain't changed, then you got to move on. If they that same person they was like years ago, that how they actually fuck you up, you got to move on. Because what you're gonna do is keep hurting yourself. And then you get depressed and your anxiety increases. Then you be in the merge of, in a suicide. Always think single. You always gotta focus on yourself before by any means what happened. But all you need is that focus on yourself, because you got a life up ahead of you, and you pretty much, because nobody ain't gonna have your back but yourself. So you need to focus. Keep going. What are you doing? Don't focus on relationships if you can't handle it. That's all I'm saying. And don't, you know what I'm saying? I know people watching this would have babies. I know that, yeah, you mess up. It's mess up. You have a kid. You can't go back on that. But all you can do is this. Provide for the baby. Provide for yourself. And that's all you can do. Now, if y'all actually, together and stuff, then provide for each other. Have that 90s love relationship where you actually, you come by together. Y'all go through a lot. And then you always gotta settle things down. Don't just be like, spoil that person and you feel like being used. And then you like, damn, I fucked myself up because I actually been with this person so many years and I now got a baby with him. You're gonna put yourself in child support. So when it comes down getting a relationship, be thinking about yourself of, dang, is this person compatible with me? Where's the pros? Where is some cons that this person have? That way you can actually know that, okay, she got some cons, but I will go with it. But pros, I like it. And then also predict, if you get sick or she gets sick, you always show up for them. Don't just be like, oh, I'm in the doctor, nobody ain't show up. Then somehow, so what? They don't show up. That's not how relationships supposed to be. Being in a relationship is a full-time commitment. You got to show up for that person. You love on that person. And then you always got to show how they feeling is. Because you're not just dating to date. You dating to marry. So pretty much you got to have a full-time commitment on how that person's going to be in life in the future. Do you want to grow old with that person? Do you want to die for that person? Do you want to go with that person? Not just, oh, sad now, and 2 months later, you with another person, and then you realize a year or two later, that person you was with got a baby with someone. And you don't want to fool around with that relationship because that's gonna cause a scene. So don't do that don't do that to yourself, fellas and ladies. So, like I said though, it's not too late. Now I know people in relationship nowadays, but it's cool. It's cool. It's always cool. You actually want to hang out with that person. You're not lonely. But if it's not a good relationship with you, always break up. Don't cheat. You actually hurting that person, and then karma gonna get back to you. So always break up. Don't actually cheat on that person, because if you're not feeling it, it's called break up, and don't do it. I have family that I know that actually cheat in the relationship in the middle of pregnancy, and things didn't go out to where now that person on child support for pretty much the whole 18 years. So, but I'm just living life. I'm living life. I'm in a relationship, and we keep things going. But that's going to be good days. They're going to be bad days. That's part of life. Nobody ain't perfect in this world, but always set yourself up as a person who you is, because nobody ain't perfect. We all got different personalities. Some of us might have the same. But always tell you this: you got to set yourself up in the future when it comes down being a full-time commitment and relationship. If you actually want to sign up to get that person, start a family or whatnot. But other than that, that's all I need to say. So I was supposed to binge drop this video for you all, but I never got the chance to. But here it is. I hope you guys like the video, and I'll see you on the next one. And I forgot to say this too. Now, don't always go for the face, go for the heart, because that's what tell the person on how they is or who they is and stuff. Because you're not gonna just be like, oh, this person fine as heck. I think you see she got a bad heart through her past. Don't go for that, fellas and queens. Just focus on their heart if you're tending to like them, and be committed to them. And take time on healing. That's another thing. Take time healing. So figure out what you're interested in. Like, you like to draw, skate, play video games. Have time to do that. Don't just focus on because you got through a heartbreak and stuff. Yes, I know you're going to need healing, but don't immediately get into a relationship and stuff, because what you're going to end up doing is you might think you heal from it. The next thing you know, you actually just feel like, dang, something missing. And then on top of that, you feel like even more broken, So when it comes down, breaks up, I do understand it's hard. Trust me, believe me, I've been to breakups plenty of times throughout my life. Take time, heal. So, just focus on yourself and keep on going. And then when it's time for you to get in a relationship, then do it. Because nobody ain't gonna stop you. Just do it. If you feel like you can handle it, that's fine. Because there's gonna be times where you're going through stress days, and there's always gonna be times where you actually have good days. But like I said, fellas and queens, make sure don't have babies at a very young, well, not really a young age. Don't have babies when you in the relationship not too long. Don't do that, because you haven't know that person for a long time and stuff, and it's gonna fully mess up y'all spirit and stuff. I mean, yeah, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but babies ain't cheap. Think about it. You know how gas, clothes, and shoes, everything is creasing. The things ain't cheap. So don't think because you have a baby and stuff is cool. No, it's not. So, like I said, y'all stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.